Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be giving you guys our first impressions of the brand new album from Kryptos called Afterburner. I know what a lot of you guys are probably thinking, who the hell is Kryptos? We didn't really know either. But we decided to do this band because, well, there's multiple reasons. Number one, there's not really much notable coming out today. This album drops today, we're like, hey, why not? Number two, these guys are from India, which we think is pretty cool. Number three, they're thrash metal, and we do not cover a lot of thrash on this channel, unfortunately, so we thought this would be a good opportunity to take a look at something thrash-wise.
Exactly, and we did listen to the title track from this album, and we both thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, so I dug it.
That got us even more interested to check this album out.
Yep.
So we're gonna go listen to this album for the very first time in its entirety, and we'll be right back to give you guys our first impressions of Afterburner.
Hey guys, we're back. We just finished listening to Afterburner for the first time in its entirety, and I have to say, this album was somewhat enjoyable, but also has a lot of things that kind of bring down the enjoyability factor for me, and I'm guessing for you too.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, you could tell these guys are old school. They got a very old school sound. I think I read that they were established in 1998, which is not exactly that old. They sound older than that to me, but they are from India, which doesn't have a lot of metal coming out of there, so they're kind of probably influenced by a lot of older 80s era bands. And that really tells. The beats are very standard, the riffs are very standard, everything's very simple and basic on the surface, but it does work to an extent.
Yeah.
They have some really good riffing. There's some decent variation in the rhythms. Nothing too spectacular, but you got certain songs like I can't remember which was the one where he was using the double bass in the.
That was the title track.
No, not that one.
Because I know there was a point in the title track where the drummer had a groove, and then later on there was a variation of it with a double kick, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was in the title track. He does that. In the second half of the verses, he does a double kick, which beefs up the song. No, I'm talking. Go ahead and share your thoughts for a second. I gotta look at my notes for a second here.
I mean, my thoughts are a little bit similar. This album started out a little bit strong and then tailored off, but I do want to mention one point in the second half that stands out, probably among the entire album, which is track number 6 called Crimson Queen.
That's the one, actually. That's the one.
Okay, perfect. I'll let you talk about that as I brought it up.
All right. Well, yeah. As I was saying, he throws some double bass into the main grooves and the main verse licks, and I thought that was cool. The rest of the rhythms, the rest of the drum beats on the album are very standard, very basic. You got basically variations of money beats, D beats, those kinds of things. Standard, basic stuff. That was the one song that kind of stood out to me rhythmically, and that was very refreshing. It's one of the reasons it's my highest rated song. And you also got some tremolo alternate picking on that song too, which you do hear on the album here and there, but it seemed more prominent on that song, which also made it sound a little different and fresh and stand out. Overall, the song was probably my favorite song on the album. It lacked in the solo a little bit. All the songs have solos. That one lacked a little bit. There's definitely better solos on the album.
But I feel like there's also worse.
There's also worse, yeah. It was kind of in the middle of the pack. My note here says that the solo wasn't technical, but it had a lot of feel to it. And to me, there's two different kinds of solos. There's solos with a lot of feel. I should say there's three. There's solos with a lot of feel, there's solos with a lot of technicality, and then there's those ones that merge both elements, and to me, that's perfect. This is a little bit too much on the feel side and not much technicality, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it was just lacking little elements that I enjoy.
Yeah, one big thing about that song for me though is the riffing. Honestly, the highest points of this album come from a really good riff.
Yeah.
And Crimson Queen and the second track, Cold Blood, both did that for me. Like, they're both tied as my highest rated.
Yep.
And they just had a riff that was fun, that did not stale out. That's the biggest thing about this album, at least from just the first impression, is that a lot of these songs start out fun and they're good riffs, but they just become really stale and it just kind of tires itself out.
Yeah.
And some of the songs are a bit longer than they need to be, especially the last track, which is Into the Wind. Honestly, like, my mind just zoned out. Like, it just kind of just went, and I'm like, this is just losing my attention. And it's the longest track at like a little over 6 minutes. So songs like that one, it kind of is an issue, even though the riff's not really bad. It's just not grasping enough. But those two songs, Crimson Queen and Cold Blood, did it right.
Yeah, the riffs, they definitely have some good, catchy riffs on this album, but you're right, he's right when he says that they're kind of just, I don't know what the words use, overplayed, overdone, overused, too repetitive, monotonous. There's a whole bunch of adjectives you can use to describe it, but you just hear the same riff over and over and over again in each song. And again, to an extent, it's not that bad. If you listen to it once, listen to it twice, it's okay. But if you were to put this album on like we're gonna do and listen to it all week, these riffs are gonna catch up to us pretty quickly, I think, and I don't know if they're gonna survive the fatigue factor.
Yeah, that might be a tough one for this album.
I'm gonna mention one of the songs that was lowest rated, not the lowest rated, but one of my lower rated songs is track number 5, On the Run. I felt like the song was very basic, it was very uninspiring, very typical, but it had the best solo on the album. I don't remember specifically off memory right now because I've only heard it once, but when listening to it I was like, wow, this is the kind of solo I want. That's my favorite solo on the album. I put some exclamation points by my note because it was really stand out to me, and nothing else surpassed it after that. So I'm curious to go listen to that song again and see if maybe the whole song can grow on me a little bit, and maybe the rest of the song can help, you know, accent the solo and they can kind of complement each other more. If not, then hey, I'll like it for the solo alone, and that's cool with me.
Fair enough. One thing I want to mention is that in track 3, called Dead of Night, there was this weird bridge or just pre-section to the solo where it was just this one note that was really quiet that sounded, to me, it sounded like some kind of keyboard effect. That's just like my instinct said, okay, this is some kind of keyboard maybe?
It sounded like a broken doorbell to me. Like you when you hit a doorbell, it usually has like a two-tone, like bing bong. It just sounded like this bing.
And then it just kept going. And like, this was going for so long, we're thinking, what's happening? Is this some kind of messed up solo? But then a solo started, we're like, okay, what was that?
Yeah, the weird note ends and then the solo happens, but then the weird note happens again.
It keeps happening in the solo, like in the background, and I'm just like thinking, like the solo itself was good, but that moment just caught me off guard, like what are they doing? Like, okay.
Yeah, it was odd. It seemed out of place, but it's something, it creates ambience, I mean, it adds a little bit of something different to the track that other tracks don't have. Unique, yeah. Exactly. So I'm not complaining about it. I just am more curious about it than anything because it just seemed weird.
It's kind of a little dumb that, you know, what makes this song unique just by doing something weird?
Yeah.
You know, why not have a song be unique because it did something cool like Crimson Queen?
Yeah.
You know? But honestly, this album, the biggest issue was just things just kind of ran out of steam. Like, another thing to mention about Dead of Night is that riff started, and I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking, I've heard this before. Like, I'm getting deja vu from this riff, and that happened multiple times while I was listening to this album.
Yeah, I think, monotony is going to be this album's downfall.
It's a short album.
Unless things start standing out more with individual personalities. I don't know.
And yeah, like, putting this album on over and over throughout the week, like, it's a 39-minute album, only 8 tracks, so it's going to run through itself really quickly, and I guess we're both concerned that this might really like start dragging our minds just because a lot of things have been repetitive, and that's only off one listen, but you never know because every album has potential.
Yep, it has potential, and that's why we're going to listen to it all week long, and we're going to do that. So I think that's it for this video, right? So we will be back next week to give you guys our full and final review of Afterburner by Kryptos. But we want you guys to listen to the album yourselves, leave your thoughts below in the comments and let us know what you guys think. We're always curious to hear your thoughts. That's it for this video, so leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
And we'll see you guys very shortly on the next one. Later.